Hey everybody,
You're here with us,
this is the Jam Show.
and we're about to jam out. A jam on.
Oh, what's that? The Jam on. Yeah.
Another episode of the Jam Show. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Oh, dude, thanks for having me, dude.
Oh, always.
I appreciate it.
Every other Monday.
Yeah, dude, it's not enough.
It never will be.
It's just not enough, man.
We almost didn't even start the show. We were just chit-chatting because we haven't seen each other
I
for
know,
so
dude.
long,
That's
for
just,
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's I got so much to say.
Working hard, hardly working.
No, I'm doing a bunch of working, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's something to be said about that, though. Your day's going by quick or what?
Yeah, it's fucking becoming a little like too fast. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm working.
There's almost not enough time.
Right, because I'm finding that when I get off work, I don't have enough time to do all the shit that I used to be able to do.
You're working a lot of OT?
Yeah, I am actually.
Yeah.
I'm only not a lot. Work 6 hours.
It's tough because it's like, do it while you're young, but also you're losing some prime time. Man.
Right, and I'm not doing all the other shit that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's exactly why I left the old place. The pay was good, overtime was there, fat ass paychecks. But my kid's gonna be in high school next year. I'm gonna lose him before I know it.
He'll be gone.
Yeah. And at least like the 2 days I work from home, I'll take a little quick break, do some laundry, do some dishes, and that just gives me a little bit extra time when he comes over to be able to just like, I mean, even if we're just fucking sitting next to each other on the phone.
Right, just shooting the shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of, universal energy just being in the same room as somebody.
Exactly. And it's like half the time you don't even realize how much you appreciate that time until way later in life. Right?
Oh, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you understand.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I always think about how much I missed out doing a lot more drinking and partying when I was younger and he was younger, and just like not appreciating. But like I was the coach of a couple of his baseball teams, his deck hockey team, his Lego League team. Like I was really pretty involved. I like to think for a dad.
That's not bad at all.
Yes, and you know what? I just had I missed my therapy session for today, which I was really bummed about.
Why'd you miss it?
I forgot to set an alarm.
Oh.
And then I just was really into work, and then my therapist called me, and I was like, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
But I got one set up for next week.
Nice.
But the last one I went to, a positive affirmation I got, which I've been trying to tell myself, is my worth is not determined by what other people think of me.
Oh, yes.
And that I've always done that. I've always tried to be like a good enough dad for my kid's mom. I've always tried to be a good enough parent for my kids. And
I can see that sucking the life out of you, brother.
Well, you have seen it for the past 5 years.
Yeah, get that devil off your shoulders.
Yeah, and it's like as much as I care for and respect his mom, we do not get along, and that does hurt me sometimes for my kid's perspective.
Dude, you're a great fucking dad.
Hey,
bro.
dude, I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And anybody that could say otherwise is just like they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I would like to hope
insane.
so. And I'm trying to, like the book says, let go of that thinking.
Exactly. Yep. Don't have to believe that shit.
Yeah, and like knowing that there will be relationships out there that are going to be unfilling, like this relationship between me and my son's mother. I'm just like, I have to focus on myself first, and then my wife and my son, and then I can do a bunch of other shit and then give a shit about what she thinks, you know?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's way down here.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Yep.
I try to be really civil. I try to do the best I can on my half and not hold any expectations on her.
I feel like I've followed your story for a couple of years, and you're a stand-up guy.
Yeah,
you hold yourself together so much better than I think I would in some of those situations. I would have already fought somebody and probably gone to jail.
Yeah.
But,
well, I appreciate that.
I'm a bit more of a meathead, I guess, than you are. Aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. But that's what I love about you, dude. You possess a lot of qualities that I wish I had in myself, so I try to leech them off you as much as I can.
Living vicariously.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there's lots of things that I learned from you. Absolutely. with handling relationships.
Oh yeah, that's
for real, man.
Relationships are tough. Well, and like a lot of times, right before I got a gym membership not too long ago.
Fuck yeah.
Right before I go to the gym, I'm like, what would Justin do? He'd go in there
shit.
and pick up the fucking heaviest thing in here.
He'd hurt his back is what he'd do. Probably hurt his shoulder. Definitely do that.
tear the skin on his foot out of the bone.
Dude. Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that because now my lifting mentality is almost a 180 from what it used to be.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't really lift. I try not to lift weights. I still have a barbell and stuff and Olympic plates at home, but been focusing more on like push-ups, pull-ups, dips, rows, like body weight movements, and then I got this little weight vest that I can add plates to it.
Oh, okay.
To just increase that, and then like farmer's carry. I got these two handles to carry weights with, and just doing like a little more functional stuff. Doing that knees over toes guy stuff where you're just doing like tib raises up against a wall, and then doing calf raises just to strengthen all those little tiny muscles. Because I got to run that fucking Bix and like, dude, not a lot of time, man, and I haven't been running.
Oh,
and yeah, so I'm not looking forward to that.
yeah. How long's the Bix? 7 miles.
7 miles, and it's
Holy
like hilly,
smokes.
and I'm like, oh. You know how short my legs are. It's a lot of steps.
Yeah, it's a long way for you.
Yeah, dude, it is. It's like 14 miles for me.
Yeah, when I go to the gym, and it's like a lot of times it's just for like an hour, so I crank up the elevation and hit the treadmill for about 45. A lot of times I'll do that for 30, and then I will just do a bunch of arm stuff. I like the pyramid thing that you showed me.
Okay.
Where you progress up to something pretty heavy and then you go back down.
Oh, yeah.
And I just hit like just 5 reps of each weight going all the way up. And I start at the very bottom. So
that's good.
I have no weights, and I'm sure there's guys looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
No, they envy your discipline through the beginner steps, dude. Because I feel like if people were more disciplined like that through those beginner steps, you would have way less injuries than they allow.
Well, and that's what I do. Like when I start and when I end, the lighter the weight, the slower I try to go. I try to just be so focused on how my arms are. And I don't necessarily know exactly how to do everything.
If it doesn't hurt when you're doing it, then I feel like you're doing it right.
Yeah, I just try to think of like I think Justin would have me just be like 90 degrees for generally.
Ooh.
Like I try to think of like round angles, 90.
Don't be doing anything
90,
like
40.
this, where you're straight.
Okay.
You want to have like if you were doing a bench press or something.
Okay.
45.
Okay, 45.
45. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. I'll remember that.
It's a more natural. And then, like, if you're doing overhead press, like, just the same thing, just natural. Don't do it. Don't over exaggerate anything. I guess you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's maybe what it is. I try not to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't just try to put yourself in a natural position.
And I do try to
possible.
I try to think about keeping my back straight.
Yeah, a good way to think about it is like putting a rubber band around your waist and pushing out on it on all 4 sides.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Lindsay, my massage therapist. That's one of the things that she talked about because I fucking weak core. I feel like most people have a weak core, so they suffer from back pain. That's one of the things that she talks about is bracing, basically.
Does doing things with you, all you really have to do is like turn your core on to like work it out? Is that kind of how?
So you mean to exercise your actual abs?
Well, no, like, is it like whenever you have your core engaged,
activated? Yes,
it is actively working itself out at the same time.
Well, yeah, technically, yeah.
It's like you're flexed.
There's a lot. Yes, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that say that you don't even really have to do ab exercises.
And this is where we come in right now and say, hey, we are not.
Oh, dude, I am a certified physical therapist.
He is uncertified. They pulled his certification.
Yeah, they actually yoink.
We are not, doctors.
Dude, we don't know what we're talking about.
Hardly college educated.
Disclaimer. This is purely for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. And we're just talking. We're just a couple of guys who are friends talking.
But fucking Andrew Huberman has a fucking couple podcasts he did with Dr. Andy Galpin. And fantastic about teaching the basic fundamentals about how to create an exercise program, about tailored to basically what you want to get out of it. Like, do you want to get stronger? Well, then you lift a certain rep scheme. Like, I think it was like 3 to 5 or 3 to 6. If you're trying to build muscle hypertrophy, then it was like fucking 8 to 15 sets.
Do you think people get that mixed up a lot? Bigger muscles make you, because I think you showed it to me a long time ago, but there's that like super thin guy that can lift just like hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a 1-to-1, but it's like bigger muscles typically mean you can lift more, but there's certain ways of lifting where
have you seen that guy I'm talking about, where he's like as big as me but like fit, and he's like pretended to be a janitor at a gym, and he's like, oh, you mind if I get in here? And he's like sweeping, and he picks up this huge tank dude is like picking up 400 pounds. I don't know what the weight is. And then he just like picks it up one-handed and moves it and sweeps and picks it up and puts it back. And then the guys are just like, what the fuck?
I don't know if I remember that or not.
Next time I see one, I'll have to send it to you, because I do think you had shown me him in the first place.
There's a guy that's he's the coach for fucking the Nike Run Club sometimes. I think his last name's Ryan Flaherty or something. But it's like you deadlift, where you only do the lifting portion. You don't do the sitting it back down, the negative part of the rep. So you're just lifting, dropping, and then that way it like doesn't activate some part of the muscle fiber. So then you're not building as much muscle mass, but you'd still be building strength. Okay, and that's how like a marathon runner would run faster, because they're not necessarily putting on weight, but they're increasing their output. Right, okay. That's one of the ways that they do it, and it's like kind of goofy the way they do it. It's like it looks fucked up because they're like fucking jumping up and down with a fucking a hex dumbbell, but that makes you faster. So it's weird. It's not always exactly the way you think about it when you actually see like a pro level person actually doing.
Yeah, pro level is so much different.
It's like, whoa. Who the fuck has time for that?
Yeah, right. But yeah, I guess people that are somehow making money off of it.
Yeah. That top fucking 0.01%. Right? Yeah. Anyway, how do we get there?
I was talking about doing a little bit of gym stuff.
Oh, dude, yeah. Andrew Huberman, check him out.
I like the Huberman podcast, but it's just so dry and long.
Here's a cheat code. If you go to podcastnotes.org,
okay,
they have like a summarized Cliff Notes.
Okay.
And that's really all you need.
Yeah, because it's just a long talk. And I feel like he probably has to do it a lot because of his credentials, like working for Harvard. But like he's always like, and again, this isn't
every episode. Yeah, like, this is separate from my teaching duties. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah, right.
Which is interesting that he. Has to
you really have to be interested in the topic that he is talking about, because he fucking like gets in the weeds about a lot of things, and it's a lot. Yeah, but it's a fucking awesome podcast. It's great.
He has so much information.
It's like a toolbox,
and it's so dumbed down. He does such a good job, like explaining everything.
Oh yeah, and giving you like the thing I really like is he gives you actionable things that you can do, like whatever you're experiencing. If you have it, he's got all kinds of podcasts about sleep, anxiety, fucking what to eat, how to exercise.
If you're new to the show, new to the Jam Show, we have been reading Don't Believe Everything You Think. It's a pretty small book, kind of repetitive, but I think it's done that in a way. I was
going to ask you if I can borrow that after we're done.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So you can read it.
I was going to have Lauren read it, too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Read it. Yeah, it's got a bunch of highlighted stuff in here now. Yeah, I don't know if that'll be distracting or not.
Oh, it's going to be so bad.
But we are on Chapter 11. Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. Spelled Nguyen, Joseph Nguyen. We are on chapter 11. What do you do next after experiencing peace, joy, love, and fulfillment in the present? And every chapter is topped off with a quote, and this one is, "Don't think. It complicates things, just feel. And if it feels like home, then follow its path." By R.M. Drake.
I got nothing.
I think it goes along with, first of all, thanks. But I think it goes along with like like you were just saying, if it feels natural, do it that way.
Right.
Don't overthink it. Like, and you know, everybody except for the top 0.01% who's getting paid to do everything, making a ton of money or whatever, as long as you're doing something, generally it'll be fine. Don't overthink it.
Yes. Unless you're deadlifting a lot of weight, then you should probably ask somebody first.
Yeah. So I just highlighted a couple of things in here, and we'll read through it pretty quick. If you've been applying the principles in this book, you've most likely been able to find peace through non-thinking. If not, I highly encourage you to remember that all of our negative feelings come from our thinking. All you have to do is become aware of that fact, which will settle the thinking just like the debris settles in dirty water. Have you felt like you've been thinking or been feeling like you're thinking? Has any of this helped you?
This book?
Yeah.
Specifically? I don't know. I feel like a lot of these are like things that I've picked up from other books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, like the unthinking part, that's like part of meditation.
You've been doing meditation for over a full year of doing it.
Almost
at least
2 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and not like 100% every day type of fucking practice, but I'm fucking hitting, 4 out of fucking 5 days most weeks. And fucking, I don't know.
Dude, that's like if you were to run 4 out of 5 days.
But your brain, something, because you think you're doing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but you're
so
doing
then when
nothing.
you first get into meditation and you're sitting there and you're thinking too much, you think you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So then you think you suck at it, and then I feel like but you somehow fucking just find some sort of calm water,
mm-hmm.
and that calm water is just like your natural state where you're separating that crazy animal mind
mm-hmm.
from the human, essentially. And somehow you just, I mean, it's almost like you're disassociating in a way, I feel like sometimes, maybe.
Yeah.
That's the way Lauren puts it, but I'm like, it's really just like a state of non-reaction. And
yeah, I feel like I'm at this point. I feel like I'm at this chapter in doing
it's like
it.
starting to click, right?
Well, yes, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, so like when I start winding up,
mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
you notice it.
Yeah, it's cool, Matt.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing this.
Right.
And so, I mean, I guess technically I just do something different, kind of. But back to the book, once you've been able to experience peace, you might be unsure as to what to do next. That's where I feel like I'm at.
Ooh.
The reason why we feel worried, anxiety, or doubt after we've experienced peace is because we just have let go of everything that we thought we knew in the world. What actually happened was the death of the personal ego. A natural consequence is that once the personal ego is threatened, it will do everything in its power to regain control over your life again.
Damn.
Which makes sense because, all of these subconscious ways of living is to protect you. And we just don't need protecting like that anymore.
Well, it's like a fucking weird programming thing where you try to where you're like holding on to these things mentally because they're like part of your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, even though you don't realize somehow they're a part of your identity, so you hold on to them.
Your ego.
Yeah, and you just got to eat the right amount of mushrooms and sit in the dark and experience ego death, I think, sometimes for people, and that'll fucking change everything for you.
Yeah, and that's for sure a topic for a future episode.
Yeah.
Back to the book. Most people spend the majority of their day in a state of stress or thinking, which consumes enormous amounts of energy. When we stop thinking, this energy is used to think is now. When we stop thinking, this energy you used to think is now freed up, but it hasn't been directed anywhere yet. And what happens is we return to old patterns of putting the energy back into thinking, because that is how we were conditioned. What we can do in this case is to channel the newfound energy into our goals of inspiration. For this to work, make sure that you've spent time creating your goals out of inspiration versus desperation, and having it top of mind so that you can channel all of your energy towards it once you experience this phenomenon.
It's important to have goals.
Yeah, I am trying to figure those out.
Very important.
Well, and it's like I never think I'm doing enough, but I do podcasts I do a podcast every week. This week, then Blue Ribbon Lounge podcast next week.
Too many, dude. You're gonna have to cut back on one of them.
Blue Ribbon Lounge podcast is out. But and then I also have my kid 4 to 6 days a week. He's got school and
raising
sports
a kid is a
and
lot.
Stuff. Yeah, cooking dinner, doing laundry, doing dishes.
Right. Keeping up a household, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. Back to the book. What tends to help many people in this stage is to also have an activation ritual. An activation ritual is a morning routine that helps them get into a state of non-thinking and flow. I never understood why spiritual masters and all great leaders have a morning routine until I understood the power of non-thinking and momentum. And that's where we're going to leave here. Do you have a morning routine, Justin?
I don't. I've been thinking about trying to start one.
Yeah. Me neither. I don't have a hard set time to get into work now. And like at Cobham, it was so early.
Right.
And so I would like get up. I would have to be like, I have got to get up.
I have to get up or I'm going to fucking get a half a point for being 2 minutes fucking late, dude.
But now my work.
Fuck that shit.
But now my work is chill. And so I'm like, another 15.
Yeah, I just overcame that hurdle within the last couple weeks, I would say, with my job.
Yeah, what's going on?
Because I was in the same boat. She was just like, fucking get here by 8:00.
Yeah,
right. And it's like you can get here early as 5, or and it's just like just fucking show up. Because I was reporting out in the morning production meeting, and that started at 8:00. Mm-hmm. But I mean, my part didn't start until 8:05.
Yeah. So you get there at 8, do all your work to present at 8:05.
Well, it was most of the time I would be reading while the other guy was talking, because I don't know, it's such a
meetings are so crazy. I feel like there's so many people that fall into the trap of just reading what is on the screen.
Well, dude, that's exactly what I was just gonna say. Like, we go through these motions every day in this morning production meeting. The production guy reads off the production schedule and where we're at, and the sourcing guy reads off all of the shortages and where we're at, and then the quality people, me and the other lady, we would read off whatever rejects and whatever we had. But it seems as though nobody's there's
you have this meeting every day. The fact that you have it every day, I feel like, makes it meaningless.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it could be 5 minutes and everybody just come together for 5 minutes. Anybody got anything?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay.
Yeah. Or hey, this is the important shortages, and I'll send out an email of all the exact numbers later.
I don't feel like there's almost anything from that meeting that people are taking action items on, unless it's someone's hey, this, you know what I mean?
Right. And
which is outside of what the normal meeting is.
Yeah.
Which is reading off the production schedule, reading all the shortages, reading all the rejects, reading the warranty claims.
Mm-hmm.
It's ugh.
And it's if there's something so important that it needs to be in a meeting, it's probably either already being done, or
these production schedules are
actively
on
working on
SharePoints where everybody can read them.
Yeah.
It's ugh.
But if there's a huge shortage, everybody probably already knows about it because they already need it.
Yeah.
And if there's a huge quality error, you're like, hey, this thing needs to be fixed on the line right now.
Yes, exactly. I don't know.
And it's just.
So I snaked my way out of the meeting.
Oh, you were
I was like, yeah. Well, my boss was like, if you don't have overlap, essentially, because there's only 4 of us,
mm-hmm.
there's no reason to have more than 1 to 2 of us sitting in a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, all 4 of us are sitting in that meeting every day. So I was like, hey, you think I could maybe not be in that meeting and you just read off whatever warranty claims we have? Because the warranty claims, all on a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
All these things that we're all sharing, like the things that people are reading off are all on spreadsheets that's
Yeah.
accessible to everybody. So if you had a question, you could go see what's happening in lane whatever, and it's like, ugh, it's so much waste.
Yeah.
Waste.
And those are I kind of thought COVID would start eliminating that for a lot of businesses.
Oh no, it's more. There's people that have gotten accustomed to doing the working from home and stuff, and people like they want to keep working from home. There's one guy that just hasn't come back. He works from home all the time,
and I think there's
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, right. But I think some companies were like, okay, we missed the last year, so we need to get everybody back in here and run it harder than ever.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, but I think there was two main identities after COVID, and it was get immediately back to the way it was and hit it harder because we missed a year, or like accepting everything and moving forward with new tools.
Yeah, I mean, if you can work from home, fucking more power to you.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. I mean, granted, I feel like I definitely wasn't not as productive working from home versus being in the factory.
Yeah.
Just because like interacting with people on the shop floor, you just learn so much. You know what I mean? Just like every day I'm learning things. So it's fucking almost too much every day.
Yeah, and my job, we are never literally at John Deere, but we like have John Deere computers. And it's like so funny how if there's a program and it goes down, it fucks everything up.
Really?
Yeah, like nobody can do their work if one program is screwed up.
Oh, you're just because you're on the John Deere network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So it's like if Oracle would have went.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like, or what was the other thing? If we would have just lost internet.
Tip QA or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, I guess we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs,
Yep.
right?
Yep. And yeah, because there's only so much you can do, and they're very much a lot of times like, we'll just jump to another thing, and it's like now I got 10 different things in 10 different locations, like in steps of the process.
Oh fuck.
That I'm like, oh, now I fucked that up. And it's just juggling too many balls.
That's a nightmare. Yeah. No, that's what I've tried to get out of. You can't juggle.
Right.
You
literally can't do anything.
You can only do one thing at a time.
Yes.
That's what it's like. I'm practicing that every day. Like instead of just like starting this and then like starting this and then starting this, I just try to finish this all the way through as far as I can, and then that way there's fucking
yeah. Well, and you know what? Thinking about that, and I can juggle literally, and like
fuck.
Well, and I'm thinking like, why is it that I can juggle 3 balls, but I can't hardly juggle 3 tasks? It's because you're not really paying attention to the balls in your hands. You're only paying attention to the one that's
coming down.
Yeah.
Right? You're just throwing.
Yeah. Because you don't have to catch the one leaving your hand. There's a ball that doesn't leave your hand at that moment, and you only have to worry about catching the one ball. So like, and it's almost like no matter where you throw the ball that you're like emptying, and you catch the other ball, you can figure out, because then you're paying attention to the ball in the air now. You're only ever paying attention to one ball.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a trick.
It's
a trick. You're just doing one thing.
Yeah.
And switching between them.
Yeah, you're kind of doing it fast in the sense of literal juggling.
Right. You're just speeding it up. And I feel, I don't know. You're not throwing those balls as well as you could if you're only throwing one of them.
Yeah, pitchers only have one ball in their hand.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah. You been seeing anything on the news lately, buddy?
Dude, actually this week, the last 2 weeks, I just kind of took a break. I took a break. I had enough.
Great.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know what it was. I think it was like the buildup with the war with China. I was just like, I'm fucking done checking this stuff.
Well, dude, I mean, I think I texted you about, I have had such thin skin lately with these fucking neo-Nazis.
Oh, you did send me something on that. That was fucking insane, dude. That video gave me anxiety.
Yeah. I watched all 13 minutes of it.
Oh my
god. It literally hurt me.
Oh, Jesus, dude. People are sorry.
Yeah, well, like, so for those who didn't see the video, who are not us,
yes,
it was this video of a Pride get-together, and then people were protesting it.
Is that what? Okay, I had no idea what like. Who had, like, I don't know. Was the person like? Who are the people that were originally there? You know what I mean?
I believe it was the Pride people. Okay. And they're doing this thing, and it seems to be doing it all over the place. I don't know if it's been going on for a while, and it just got the attention of the alt-right. But like these drag brunches, where members of the Pride community get together, and they invite just people out, whether you're trans or gay or straight or whatever, just people who are, enjoy being around the same types of people.
Swingers. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And they get together, and I hear a lot of these, like, drag queens reading, like, LGBT stories to kids is what a lot of the alt-right is complaining about, that they're, like, brainwashing the kids. It's like brainwashing them to do what? Accept people?
They're grooming them. I just remember that was one of the things that somebody, I can't remember which side.
Somebody was just yelling.
I don't know who was yelling it. I couldn't tell.
I mean, theoretically, if you are a racist, you're grooming people to be also racist.
Isn't that what everybody kind of, like, they're like trying to get people to think like them? That's what people naturally, like, silo, right? I mean, I don't know. And then they're like, that's why I think it's always good to be more self-aware and fucking just not married to an idea.
Yeah.
You can't be.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, figure yourself out, but don't put it on other people, Well,
people always think they got one up on somebody, right? And say it in the first place.
The funny thing is, all these fucking Nazi organizations, Pride Boys, is like Proud Boys.
Pride Boys.
that's the LGBT side of it. The Proud Boys, they are consistently showing up in masks.
Oh.
And that to me means that your ideas are bad.
Right.
Because you don't want your face
to be associated.
Yes.
You don't want to be associated with whatever fucking idea. Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good point.
If you show up somewhere with something over your face, you have poor intentions.
Yeah. No, that's a good observation, I think.
But yeah,
it's been getting to you. It's eating at you.
It has been. And there was just so many things. I got so down this rabbit hole, and there's like these online echo chambers of alt-right propaganda. And I guess I heard this guy Theo Wilson, who was a black man, and he like went viral for something online, for something about being black. And then he just kind of had the idea of like, what happens if I completely cleared all my browsing history and just started looking up all alt-right stuff. And he did find that there is currently going on like an inherent ridicule of being a white man, like how black men are generally demonized for being thugs and criminals.
Oh, yep.
White men are oftentimes being broadly seen as either racists or like a master type situation, even though we don't technically have slavery anymore, you know. But white,
better than thou type of mentality.
Yeah, right? White men grew up with privilege.
I mean, look at the Nazis, right? They think that's like a fucking to the most extreme of that, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we look just like them, right?
I am part German. I'm a fucking half, my great grandpa's last name is Walz.
Really?
Walz. That's pretty German. That sounds
like a Nazi name.
Pretty German.
But so just like people talking about racism more casually now, white men feel attacked.
I could see that.
And you know what? To me, it's like they're just shifting some of the feelings from black people who were literally enslaved to like now, if they talk about black people being enslaved, makes white people uncomfortable. Like black people were 100% uncomfortable being slaves. Now white people have to be 50% uncomfortable talking about it.
Right. I never really got that, I guess. why do people feel uncomfortable?
I don't know. I think,
you fucking weren't there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and you know what? Like, my family immigrated here straight to the Quad Cities from like Sweden or Switzerland or something. And it's just like, maybe I don't have any ties to it. So my family heritage has nothing to do with it.
You don't have any white guilt.
Yeah. Yeah. And so maybe that's it. Like, you're like,
you think if you came from a wealthy family that you knew you're somewhere
a wealthy family from the South,
somewhere in your fucking bloodline, you knew you had slaves, then would you feel bad about it?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, and there's two different types of people that would feel bad about it, people who wouldn't.
That would take some extreme empathy, I guess.
Yeah. But then so he found that kind of on the surface level. But then he found groups that are consistently talking about white genocide, how a lot of these white men and women think that minorities are going to come in and eliminate their race, a lot of by, black women getting with white men, black men getting with white women.
The whole race purity thing is just kind of weird to me. Right.
And he was talking about, like, he can understand that because as a black person, there's so many things you have to look out for. And I think we may have talked about him, the war on drugs.
That's something to actually be mad about.
Yeah.
The war on drugs is actually something to be mad about.
Yeah. Like police brutality.
That's something now.
The built-in racism from like Jim Crow era.
Yeah, all these things that we're still experiencing, the things that the racist white people were like put in place after it, that is still affecting us to this day, right?
The general idea behind like fines for crimes. Mm-hmm. Like, if you were a millionaire, you don't care about getting a $400 parking ticket if you park in front of a...
Exactly. You're going to park there.
Yeah. I'll just park here and I'll pay the fine later.
Yeah.
But, like, as a poor, generally a minority, you don't have $400. Like, I'm a white man.
Oh, dude, a $400 ticket would...
yeah, it'd fuck me.
Fuck, bro.
But... So that, like, the guy was being like, yeah, I can understand feeling attacked by the color of your skin. But when you're talking about fucking evolution and, like, not in this time period, years ago, you would have to walk from Africa to, Germany to see a different colored person. Now, I can hop on a plane and fly to China, Russia, Japan, fucking Africa. I can fall in love with anybody there, and so you're just by general technology, the next evolution is a changing skin color, I think.
Yeah, it's a melting pot type of situation, right?
Yeah. It's like being in Europe and Africa, there's all sorts of different kinds of white or black people, and they probably, you'd trade your white daughter to this white guy's son, but now it's like anybody can be in love with anybody. You can, especially with the internet.
More open evolution, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. Yeah, how culture and technology open evolutionary pathways, I guess, right? Because
and even with the internet was just the next step, because I can meet somebody from China.
You can order one.
Yep, that's kind of true. I could meet somebody from Africa and fall in love before even having to make that commitment to going there.
That is weird, right?
Yeah.
Damn. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. So this guy's whole thought process was like, yes, there is maybe some uncomfortability to being a white person right now, and they may even be a little justified in feeling that way. But you cannot justify evolution, or you cannot justify being angry at evolution.
Yeah,
or else it's gonna leave. It's gonna leave you in the dust.
It's so weird. It's all like if the white people who feel uncomfortable talking about that would just let go of that part of their identity, then maybe they wouldn't feel so bad. I don't know. That's weird to me. I don't know.
I agree.
Anyway, what else you got?
I feel like there's so much stuff going on in unions lately.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, for those of people who don't know, me and Justin used to work at a union shop. 388, baby. Ride or die.
All day, baby. Actually, not me. I fucking deuced out of there as soon as we got back from strike.
My dad was in a union. I don't know if you've ever had any other family in unions or anything. What are your general thoughts on them, I guess?
They are good for the uneducated masses.
I could see that.
If you're not capable of going out there and like fighting for your own shit, no matter what, then it's like puts you in a weak spot. If you want that, I don't know. I think it's like a thing of weakness in my eyes.
I can see where you would think that, but consider the pyramid scheme that is money.
Yeah.
Money, they call it the trickle-down effect. The amount of people who work at a business, any business ever, the amount of people that work there far outweigh the amount of people who own it.
Right.
You know, it's always less people on top. The top 1%, 0.01% of America owns more than has as much wealth as the bottom 50% of the world. Mm-hmm. And so I think if you weren't able to unionize, it would just make it easier for those people to manipulate you. They'll just find another person who's struggling worse off than you
100%.
To give 25-cent raises every year.
Yeah, and I guess I fucking would need to eat the soap because it's like you wouldn't have those other opportunities, I guess, you know, if people weren't able to unionize in some areas, which then makes it to where the fucking companies leave those areas, they come, you know, to like Quad Cities or something where, you know, over on the Iowa side,
rent is cheap, and
they can pay people a lot less than most other places.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
Well, I think it's just
if you're older, then unions benefit you, right? Because you want a more stable. You don't want to have to move around to find work.
Yeah,
like I feel like where I'm at least currently, and where I've been, I would fucking pack up and leave if I had to go find work elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. You got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Yeah, and I think this just, so money is power, and power is all at the top when you're an employer. You have 100% of the
knowledge
power.
Is power.
Oh, it's fun to learn. But I think unions take the power away from money and put it in the labor, into the working machine's hands.
I think that's the way they sell it to us.
Well, and it's just like capitalism. Capitalism is great when you don't got a bunch of fucking criminals at the very top paying everybody below them.
That's what I'm saying. If they if people just treated everybody like human beings, then we wouldn't have to have that situation. But
it's another tool. You can use a wrench like a hammer. That doesn't mean it's going to do the job as well.
Right. I was just telling my brother the other day, it's always about having the right tool.
Yeah.
Makes everything.
Definitely.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah. And I wonder if people are just now getting tired of being used in the wrong way. Because, okay, so what brought unions to the forefront of my mind just recently was the Writers Guild of America strike.
Okay.
And so they're striking against the Alliance of Motion Pictures and television producers. So they want more money. They want like more consistent work. They want like minimum amount of writers on projects. And then also they brought up AI within writing scripts.
Scary.
So what a lot of it seemed to me is, one person was talking about her first residual check from a cable broadcast show. So a residual check is an ongoing payment for writers that are generated as a show reruns and re-airs and like sells DVDs and stuff like that. That's a residual.
Oh, yep.
So one writer claimed that her first residual for a cable broadcast show was $12,000, and then her first residual from a streaming show was $4.
Ooh, ouch.
So I think a lot of what it is this gray area of streaming that is not necessarily hasn't been necessarily agreed upon by everything yet, because I'm sure back in the day writers were getting paid like shit, and then because they've striked a couple of times in our generation.
I guess I haven't paid attention to it.
Yeah. I just remember it was the time when I was watching Conan O'Brien a lot, and he was on TV.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And he was
Gotta watch Conan.
he was like really lowballing a lot of the, like he would like really bring attention to it, be like, well, we don't have, all the writers are on strike, and then he like would take his ring off and spin it, and then like
okay. I think I remember that.
Yeah,
I think I remember watching that.
But so that was during another writer's strike. And then also I feel like everything has become under the, what's it called when like money is worth less at inflation.
Yes.
Nothing has kept up with inflation, I feel like, for the past 10 years. So the residuals themselves have increased by 48% from 300 million to 500 million from 2011 to 2021. But this is because there's more projects that have been being made to keep up with the streaming boom. How there's like Peacock, Hulu, Netflix, they all have originals
HBO
now.
Max.
And then
Jeez.
So like there's so many more services now that all have originals on them. And the amount paid for each residual is down by 4%. And like the amount paid to the people is down 4%, but that's over the last decade, and if you adjust for inflation, it's actually down by 23%.
Ouch.
So well, and nothing has been keeping up with inflation.
No,
obviously not even that, which I've just never been in like an entertainment field, but I feel like I've seen it forever in the manufacturing industry. And you have this huge boom of streaming services, and I think it's just been a huge gray area along with technology. You know, there's just such different technology
because people don't know how to capitalize on it in an ethical manner.
Right.
Right.
Because a lot of these CEOs are making, you know, $250 million a year, but I've been hearing stuff about like the show The Bear. Did you watch that show about the chef?
Oh yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
I guess it won an award. The head writer on it was so broke he had to rent a bow tie to wear with his suit. You know, he had to rent a suit. He couldn't buy it, and he would be writing at home in his apartment that didn't have heat. So he used a space heater, and when that would blow out the power, he would go to the library and write.
Fuck, dude.
And you know that I watched the show; it was pretty good.
That was a great show.
Yeah, you know that a bunch of people watched it, made Netflix a bunch of money, but this guy who was like, a writer has got to be like, writing has got to be
blows, man.
30%. Like writers are about 30% of a show, actors are like a 30% of the show, and then everything else I feel like is 50.
Yeah.
You know, or
40.
Yeah, 40. And it's just so interesting to see behind the curtain on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. That's crazy. I would have never thought that. You just think that everybody in Hollywood gets paid fucking really well, right?
Well, right, and that's another thing. He could have been making, I saw another guy talking about it, and he was kind of on the opposite side. He could have been making, you know, $5,000 a month, which is pretty good.
That's fat cash.
Yeah.
Right.
But if your apartment costs you $2,500 a month.
That's
and hurts. Groceries cost a bunch. Gas costs a shitload.
You're driving a super sweet car though.
Yeah,
super
maybe.
sweet.
I don't know.
Maybe. If you're living in California, fucking.
To driving, they just hand out Tessies as soon as you cross the line.
Porsches all over the place over there, dude. Porsche for sure.
Damn. But yeah, so I was looking into that at first, and then the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette went on strike. The railroad is on strike again. I don't know if you remember they were on strike before.
Yeah, and then they came to a some partial temporary agreement that basically kicked the can down the road. It sounded like.
And so they're talking about having to strike again. The Starbucks employees trying to unionize. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if you remember me talking about that.
Oh, I followed Breaking Points back when that first started and listened to all that.
Yeah, and they're just completely blowing them off. They had politically correct answers for everything.
So awesome, right? I listened to a few of them. The guy was good.
It just makes me want to yell at them.
Well, let's just ask better questions.
Yeah, right. And then New York nurses, I guess 7,000 New York nurses have been on strike because of overworking, understaffed hospitals. So every nurse is having to take care of 10 people when it should be more like 3.
Yes.
And there's so many people in the hospitals that they're having to help patients on beds in the hallways.
Patient ratio is fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Lauren was telling me all about that. And
is it happening to her? Or?
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's why she left the hospital.
Where's she working at now?
She works at Overlook Village in Moline.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. She says CNA there. But yeah, we were at the hospital not that long ago, and she asked one of her it wasn't even an old coworker. It was somebody that she didn't work with when she worked there. And she's like, how's the staffing? And she's like, the chick that was working there was like, oh, it's fucking terrible. And she's like, well, I'm glad I left.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's the hospital, bro.
Yeah.
It's a place that you think that you go there and they're going to have enough people and everything. No, they're cutting corners just like everybody else.
Yeah, and I heard that hospitals are supposed to be kind of run as non-for-profits, but these CEOs of hospitals are making millions of dollars a year.
Dude, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, if I can't choose that my money is going to the nurse that's actually helping me, these people just make decisions all day.
Imagine going to the hospital and having somebody who does that as their job, just goes there as their job, as opposed to actually doing a good job of taking care of you.
Yeah. Well, and it was making me think that who are the rich people? Business people that know how to spend money, bookkeeper type people, stockbrokers.
Mm-hmm.
They just know how money works and they exploit it.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with intention. It has nothing to do with physical talent even. It's all just knowing how to work a system.
Yeah, I mean, it takes money to fucking get money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking back to when I had a couple of stocks on Robinhood or whatever, you know?
Yep.
And it's if I have $20 into a stock and I make $2, that doesn't seem like a lot. But if I had $20 million in a stock and I make 2%, that's $2 million or whatever, you know? Or
yes.
200,000 or whatever.
Yes.
It's
pick up what you're throwing down.
Yeah, it's that's the definition of it takes money to make money.
Yeah, it's when those small percentile changes make you enough money to survive off of for a couple of months.
Yeah,
and all you have to do is just move the money around, and it's just making money.
Yeah,
That's a broken system, I think.
Yeah, I was looking at how much money would I need to have a CD. Have 12 CDs, one for every month, and then just live off the interest of all of those CDs, you know? And it was something I would have to have $20,000 in every one of those CDs. And then the interest would just be $5,000.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Is that even reasonable?
It almost isn't, because then you have to pay taxes on it, as well.
Taxes, that's a killer there, dude.
Yeah. It's like interest. So the government just moved interest rates up to like 7 to 10% or something.
And that's interest rates for...
I don't know, because the bank's not paying me 7% to hold my money in
Make
there.
it make sense, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's the interest rate at which the fucking banks
Can loan money
to each other overnight.
Oh, okay.
So I think isn't that what it is?
Maybe.
I don't know. Dude, the whole fucking system has to crumble soon.
It just feels like it's building up.
That we just keep hitting that debt ceiling, and it's just like, oh, it just goes a little bit higher. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. That I think probably is what made me stop paying attention to the like fucking breaking points.
Yeah.
I stopped listening to it for a couple weeks just because I was just over.
It's very hard.
It takes so much energy to want to keep up with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking hearing about all the dumb shit that the presidents are doing and just how bad of a system that is, dude. I'm just like, it just
is so blatant. Ever since fucking they killed Epstein, they're just doing it all out in the open.
Oh, and God, dude, there's like some sort of investigation going in on Biden now.
Really?
For like, God, I wish I could have fucking sent you that article. We'll have to talk about it next time. I don't want to misspeak on anything, but his family, it's basically like his family ties and how they've been using that for business relationships. And his son, they have like bank records where he fucking received money from China and shit.
Well, yeah, that was the whole laptop thing, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly.
He like literally works for a company in China or something, or like Saudi Arabia or something.
Right.
Well, and now I'm hearing that the Democratic Party is trying to not have like a debate, a primary.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you fucking... You can't even have a fake one like for Bernie Sanders and just rig it behind our backs. Yeah.
I know. It's just putting our face right in the dog shit, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
they're going to lick that white dog shit.
That's exactly that. Lick that white dog shit. That's like that. Oh, God. It's so fucking... It's infuriating. It's just... Oh,
it is. Bad. It is hard. It is hard to just keep getting it shoved right in your face.
It's so bad.
On
a side note, on that, was it Senator or Justice Clarence? Did you see that? What else?
No, but I want to know desperately now.
So the Harlan Crow, not only did he pay or buy his mother's house that she still lives in rent free, he also paid for Clarence Thomas's adopted son's private school tuition at $6,000 a month.
That is so insane.
Isn't that? It's just like, if that's not a
month,
a month. Yes, exactly, dude. Seat for sale.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's the most. That's corrupt.
Blatant.
Yes, right. In our face.
He's gonna look at us and say he's just a middle American man, and he just loves it homegrown.
Yeah,
you fucking lying bitch.
Fuck that dude. I'd fight that dude in the street if I saw him.
Oh yeah,
worth it. Put me in jail.
That needs to be a comedy skit.
Fucking
yeah.
Anyway,
did you see anything about King Charles's ordainment or the new King of England?
No.
The oldest ever sworn in king in the world, I think.
By whose account?
Histories? I saw that part, I think, on Russell Brand.
Okay. Russell Brand's got a great podcast.
It is
that
super
dude
great.
Is
Safer.
awesome.
I started watching the Rumble shows.
What's that?
It's like YouTube, but more freer speech. So there's like a bunch of racists.
So it's just like white dudes being racist?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going to get on there.
And then, but he also has another app. So I was watching on YouTube, and consistently he'd be like, if you want to hear what we have to say next, we're going straight to Rumble, and because we can only say it there because that's the only place it's free. And then I go to Rumble, and then now every time it's over, he's like, and we're gonna go take some questions on our Locals page, and Locals is another fucking thing, and it's like,
I guess I would rather have it be like that, where you have other options as opposed to fucking one giant YouTube that just controls all speech channels.
Yeah,
I would like there to be a second YouTube, something different, controlled by somebody else.
Daily Mail or whatever. Is that
I don't know, something else.
Daily Motion, I think, is like the closest.
Nah, I think the second closest thing is World Star Hip Hop. I think that's the next best thing.
That's got the next most amount of videos.
If you go on there, that's got like cutting edge news on there. If you think about it, it's like the closest you can get a camera to the streets. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll have to do some research.
It's like TikTok, kind of.
Okay.
Like TikTok, Lauren, that's how she gets her news now, is off of TikTok.
Yeah.
And she's getting, the people who are on there are putting together like decent content.
Yeah, I bet.
She showed me a couple things, and I'm like, guys fucking got some good fucking points. But like the way he is delivering it, he's putting it together in like a package that is like for a completely different audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was talking about the Taiwan issue, and it was this flamboyantly gay guy.
Okay.
And he was fucking really funny.
I like that, yeah.
He was being really funny about it. And then Lauren was like, what's happening in Taiwan, basically, because of what this guy was saying. And I was like, yeah, basically.
Yeah. Well, and that is generally where I get all of my topics. I'll just be fucking flipping through Instagram Reels or TikTok or something.
You have a TikTok, Matthew?
I do have a TikTok.
Oh.
I really don't use it that much. I do the Instagram Reels more.
Nice.
And it's like, I don't use my Facebook as much either. I use the Instagram Reels. I'm more of like, I like to see a picture. I like to see something somebody drew or something like that.
I like Instagram.
Yeah.
It's all about art, cool cars.
Like
That's like...
I like to scroll through all the artists. I generally follow mostly artists. I like to scroll through them, and occasionally I get sucked into a Reels. And then I'll be like, reel.
Yes.
And so I'm not full Reels like TikTok, and I'm not full posts like Facebook. I like Instagram.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, I don't check like my messages.
You don't, not even your messages. Dude.
I don't, dude. I turned all my notifications off.
I have no notifications on my phone.
Nothing, dude. And it's like, I find it hard to, like, I don't think about going and checking them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then it's like, you sent me 4 things over the last 2 days, and I'm like, fuck it, I gotta sit there and watch them all and get it all caught up. But then I try not, what I do now is I don't sit there and start scrolling into the Reels. I don't let it suck me in. And I just check them, respond to them. Like, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, and even my YouTube, I have a bunch of playlists that I don't watch. And then my watch later playlist is like, it'll blow up to 100 videos, and then I'll watch a shitload of them, and it'll drop down to like 20 that I'm like meaning to get to.
What have you been watching lately?
Well, I always, if it's a Blue Ribbon Lounge week, I have a bunch of whatever that one topic is.
Right.
And then whatever, if it's a jam show week, then it's just all like Breaking Points, Russell Brand, and other topics that I have to look up. Yeah. But then, like, right now I'm really into music, so I just got this keyboard.
What?
Yeah, so I got...
Sick, dude. I would love to have a keyboard, man.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. And this one's got, like, it's got a bunch of... I'll show you when we're done. But it's got a bunch of pre-programmed sounds. Fuck it, dude. I'm going to get it right now.
Fuck it, dude. Matthew, on the keys. Oh, it's one of those things, dude. I know exactly what that thing is, dude. I was looking at buying one for no reason, just because it's super cool.
It's super dope.
Yeah. I've seen that ad for that thing a million times.
Yeah,
I clicked on it every time.
So this thing, it's a MPK Mini Play. It's got batteries.
Oh,
it's got a speaker, so I can hear it. It's a direct.
Oh,
directly.
Wow.
I can hear it, and it's got like a little drum pad. It can do some fucking weird shit like.
Oh shit.
And then it's got like fucking 140. Oh no, it's got 128.
Oh, like different.
Yeah, that's like
keystroke type.
Oh. No, I can't get it to repeat. I'm on stage right now. Yeah, I'm still learning. But like, it's got like fucking goofy shit like gunshots. That's like people clapping.
I feel like I would lose a lot of time fucking around with something like that. Oh, that's cool.
And then it's got a couple of different drum set things. Oh, let's do this. I've been working on this. Let's do favorites here, I think. Okay, here we go. So this is what I've been working on. This is all I got. It's from 2001: A Space Odyssey, but Elvis used it for his, I think, 68 comeback tour or whatever. So it's like. Oh, that was. And that's pretty much it.
That's awesome.
Just like to really amp up a show.
Remind me of like Godzilla.
Oh, I could see that with like the or King Kong maybe.
King Kong, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Oh, that's awesome, dude.
But yeah, dude, it's like from all the research I did about what I wanted, this was just the most like it got here and I fucking goofed with it.
Too. Those things aren't that expensive.
Yeah,
right?
This one was $120.
Yeah, fuck. That's sick.
Yeah, the fact that I can just pick it up and be on the living room and just bing bong bing bong bong,
annoy the shit out of everyone around you.
I have gotten yelled at a few times. But
that's sweet though, dude.
So I have like 20 videos on that thing that I need to watch. I just got back from Vintage Torque Fest.
How was that?
It was great. It was the first time I drank in like 94 days.
Oh, fuck it. And you drank like a responsible adult.
Oh, super responsible.
Matthew.
I didn't drive.
But you got a little sloshy.
I got a little sloshy.
Oh, shit. By choice, though, right? You were like, I'm going to get, like, you made the decision ahead that you're like, I'm about to get fucked up.
Right. I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and left on Sunday. And I chose to work all weekend there.
Oh.
So I was at the gate, handling cash all weekend. I had maybe 2 beers on Friday night. And I had a few more than that on Saturday night. But, like, I had to be up at 8 o'clock and ready and working on Saturday. So I was like, I'm going to be cool. My priority was working for the Hot Rod Show. And they made, like, $20,000 to give to a family whose kids had congenital heart disease. And it's for, like, having to drive to a big hospital out of town.
Right.
And hotel rooms.
Paying for all those stupid fucking medical bills.
Yes.
Dude. Oh, God.
And they thanked me online earlier this year for getting a $2,500 donation from Cobham.
Dude, you're a boss.
Yeah. I think I've gotten them, like, at least $10,000 now from Cobham.
That's sick.
And so that being said, I got 20 videos on there on how to write grants.
Oh,
and I'm gonna talk to them first to be like, hey, can I speak on behalf of you?
Right.
But I would like to they're such beautiful, great people that put on this show, and that's how I met them. But they do so much more, and I just want to be part of
give back. A little
yeah,
bit,
I just want to
contribute. Right.
I want
that's awesome.
Our lives to be as connected.
Right. No, that's sick, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had something meaningful like that.
You'll get there. You're still pretty young, dude.
Yeah, I guess.
What are you, 31?
32.
32.
32.
Actually, I
know.
spoke too soon.
Just
No, you're good. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just keep being a good person, and then
it'll
line up.
It'll come around. Yeah.
Really, what it is finding that thing that you want to be a part of.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I feel like you've been contributing to a lot of those things in so many different ways, too.
Yeah. I mean, before that, I was doing balloon animals at all those shows. And a lot of it is like my life has progressed so much, even since you've known me, to where like I used to want to be on stage all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Entertaining people. And I was able to do all that. And then, really since COVID, I've really sucked into my own shell, And I don't think it was a bad thing, but it has been a hard thing. So I'm just trying to find different ways to channel my energy.
Yeah, back to the cum pod. That wasn't a fucking funny.
That was a good one.
That fucking meme was so. Dude.
We're also
those
gonna have
guys-
these cum coats.
That shit. Whoever made that, like,
Yeah.
that skit, like they put a lot of effort into that. That shit, I don't know. That shit was funny. Anyway,
Let's call it, buddy.
yeah, dude.
Um.
Well, wait.
Oh,
I went turkey hunting this weekend.
you went turkey hunting
Yeah,
this weekend?
dude. So I didn't wake up in time to get good turkey seat tickets, basically. So I had to go after work to go get turkey season 5 ticket,
Okay.
which is like way late season.
And it's like you buy a ticket for the week
Yeah.
that you can hunt?
Yep.
Okay. And can you buy them for all of them, or?
No, you can buy like up to 2. I think.
Oh, okay.
You can have up to 2. I think. Yeah. But fucking went, got there at 5 a.m. butt crack of dawn. Found a little log to sit up by. Put my little decoy up, and I'm fucking sitting there and fucking. I've sat up right in the area, general vicinity where I shot my first turkey, so I know it's a turkey highway.
Where you were in your spot, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Turkey highway, and
I didn't tell you, but I was over that way.
No way.
I was at that Casey's, and I was like behind this
you're
lumber
like,
yard.
right back there.
Yeah.
Dude. You're like right back there. Should have went back there, done a little exploring.
Yeah.
Stole a few. You could have stolen a few trail cameras while you were there. Fuck it, dude. Yeah. But no, I heard birds gobbling. Like fucking, it felt like 50 yards from me, like right at the butt crack of dawn. So so they're fucking chirping at him, then they could fucking holler back at me. And then came daylight, and I'd make a noise.
Because you can't shoot them until the sun comes up. Is that right?
Well, it's like 30 minutes before sun.
Okay.
And then it's like 30 minutes after. Basically, until there's such a gray area there. There's 30 minutes.
Right. If you shoot it and then a cop pulls up 20 minutes later,
Right.
you can be like,
They're never
it was
going to
only
nail you
5
on
minutes
that,
ago.
It's like, if the animal's right here, you could shoot it. But if it's way over there, it's so hard to see.
Yeah.
It's because all those little small twigs just become invisible. And you just,
Camouflage.
yeah, you can't see anything. It's hard.
But anyways,
But
you're
I-
chirping at them.
Chirping at them, fucking sun breaks, fucking sitting there, and they just go silent on me. Yeah. But, yeah, so I didn't see anything. That's a bummer. Yeah.
Hey, you were out there.
It was a great fucking weather was awesome. And it was
Yeah.
just nice to go sit in the woods.
Yeah.
It was
I bet
just-
you missed it.
Oh, dude, so bad.
Yeah.
I shot my bow only a few times the fucking night before, and I was like, yeah, I still got it.
I still got it.
Got it.
Is there another season coming up,
That's
or
it.
wait till deer?
That's it. No.
Fishing season.
Yeah, actually, I've got a little fishing pole set up for throwing in the old Fiat.
Yeah.
Just 2 little, what do you call them? Fucking travel poles, the ones that break apart, and
Yeah.
then a little tackle box. But I've done 0 fishing.
What do you normally fish for, and how's your pole set up?
Oh God.
Because I have just grown up pan fishing my whole life. I'm a bobber and a hook kind of guy.
I'd say the majority of my fishing is probably cat fishing.
Okay.
Like along any river.
Is that really you cast and reel?
No, that's that's where you've got the little tube with the hooks on the end. You stick it in the stinky peanut butter,
Okay.
and then you fucking got a big heavy weight on it. You fucking chuck it out as far as you can, and you just let it sit there. And then fucking you wait you put bells. You put it like, I think there's like a limit to how many poles you can have per person. You put bells on them, and then you just sit there, and then you hear, dude, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And dude, because catfish are fucking, they're like the sharks of fresh water,
river,
essentially, and they're fucking fighters. They're meaty little fuckers. And if you get a big one on, dude, it's not nearly as like, it's a different type of fun versus like bass fishing where you're casting. It's that constant. It's almost like a rhythmic, like relaxing type of thing, which I've done that a lot too. That's a lot of fun. But it's like, dude, catching a big catfish is like, I don't know.
Fight.
It's like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've grown up on the Mississippi, but it's like
Yeah.
just something special.
I
to
do
me.
like watching like deep water fishing videos where there's fucking 3 guys pulling on a pole and it's
Oh, yeah.
halfway bent over and
That's I've never done that. I would like to
right.
do
And
that, but
it's like on a major scale.
the most extreme end,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, that's almost like too much.
Yeah.
Because you have to go out in the water. What I like about the fucking like catfishing is like, dude, we could go get some poles and we could go catfish tonight on the bank. You know, it's like get a cooler of beer. If you're in some areas, you get a little fire going on the bank and you're just chilling.
Yeah.
You know, there's like a relaxing
Yeah.
thing about it until you get a big catfish on it. Then it's all
juice.
all hell breaks loose.
All
You gotta reel
jam.
all the fucking poles in, and it's yeah. I need to go fishing, man.
Yeah.
You just reminded me.
Cool. Well, thanks again for coming down, man, and thanks for everybody out there listening.
Yeah, if anybody's out there, fucking actually give us some comments or something.
Yeah, we could use some fucking talkable
some sort of
ideas.
feedback on where we were gonna take this next.
Yeah.
because we're almost done with this book, right?
Let's see. We just did chapter 11, and we have 17. So we have 6 more chapters.
All right, I take it back. Keep the feedback to yourselves, folks.
Well, we'll see what the next chapter or 2. I feel like we were doing 2, and then we hit 11 or like chapter 10 or something that was really long, 9 maybe, and then that kind of busted.
Yeah,
it,
we skipped one day, right?
Yeah.
So that's all right.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we're just fucking.
Thanks for listening, folks.
Yeah, have a good one, and take care of yourselves.
Yes, I was just going to say that. I was going to say be good to yourselves, but that's not what you say.
Maybe it is what I say.
Just be good to yourself.
I say be good to yourselves.
Yes, and then what do I say? I don't have a good catchphrase.
You say and everyone else.
And everyone else.
Be good to yourselves.
But not everyone else.
You son of a bitch.
Later.